Hey guys, welcome back to another Gaming Memories video. Here we are actually taking a look at NGen Racing, a flight simulator style racing game that was released for the PlayStation both in Europe and North America in the year 2000. So instead of traditionally having the likes of race cars or grounded style vehicles, this game opts into using like fighter jets or pilot kind of planes as a means to race around specific tracks. So the tracks themselves are pretty much laid out like a typical race course. The only difference is you're racing around different types of like mountain kind of style environments where you're up in the air and you're having to dodge and weave in between like boulders and likes of cliff edges and so forth, so you have to make sure that you don't crash your plane. The game itself actually got decent enough reviews across the board on different magazines when it was actually released, but one of the major criticisms of the game was the fact is that they said that they thought that the game would get quite boring fairly quickly because it was kind of the same thing over and over with each level, so it could get a bit repetitive at times for some players. They might find it a little bit irritating. But that didn't take away from the overall playability of the game. Most people that did play it actually did enjoy it. The one thing that it was praised for, or there was a few things, that they actually had really good particle effects and lighting effects in the game. Also, it actually had dynamic weather, as it also had different types of weather-based environments where you could actually race or fly your crafts even in stormy type weathers where you had thunder and you had lightning, and even with the likes of rain, and you could actually see the rain particles on the screen, so it was quite impressive. The graphics itself on the game were actually quite impressive for their time, and it was actually at that time considered to be one of the better looking racing style games on the PlayStation. I actually have covered this briefly in another video I did recently, graphically impressive PS1 racing games. I'll make sure to drop a link down below in the description so that you can go and check out that video also, where I do actually cover a lot of the best looking style racing games on the platform. So you had the ability to race across different types of environments, all with different types of terrain, both like bright and even vivid with the colour style. And the fact is that it actually had really good, like say, graphical effects and so forth added to the overall style of the game. I do remember actually my first experience with this was actually on one of the UK PlayStation magazine demo discs, and I actually really enjoyed it. And even though I wouldn't have really played too many flight type games at that time on the PlayStation because I always found them quite difficult, I actually remember going back to likes of playing like Air Combat and Shockwave Assault and a couple of others, and they were good, but I always struggled playing with those type of games. For some reason I could never get the hang of the control systems, but I managed to get the hang of this one here. And again, because it was a different take, and the fact is it was a racing game, which I'm a huge fan of racing games, I actually thoroughly enjoyed the demo. I do remember actually playing that for actually quite a while, and actually regularly going back to playing it because I actually really enjoyed it. Again, the music in it too, because it has kind of like a dance, kind of like techno-y kind of like soundtrack as well, so that I think for me kind of added to that element, and it kind of reflected the type of like music that was being kind of popular back at that time, back in that era. So it did actually suit the style of game itself. So you also had the ability when you were actually playing through the game, obviously you could use like different types of aircraft, each with their own unique assets and abilities. And you could also have the ability to upgrade your crafts as you're going through likes of races. You'd earn likes of money or currency so that you could utilise to actually either upgrade to like a better ship or to increase some of its stats so that it would actually help you to gain a leverage in the races. All in all, a decent enough game that is actually worth playing if you're into something that's a wee bit different. But even if you kind of do like flight simulators but you do also like racing games, this actually might be a good one to actually go and check out. Even though it may not be for everybody, but it definitely, some people will definitely find an appeal in it. Even for myself that wouldn't have been big into these type of games, I did actually quite enjoy it, and I definitely would go back to play it again. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this game. Did you actually get to play it back in the day, or what were your experiences with it? Did you enjoy it, or did you find it like quirky or even difficult? Be sure to share it down in the comments below. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel, and again hit that bell icon to be updated whenever I release future videos, as I am going to be exploring a lot more of these quirkier style racing games and sharing my thoughts and experiences with everyone. So as always, make sure to keep playing those classic games and enjoying them, and keep those gaming memories alive.